Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the tier list channel. Today, we are going to be doing a tier list of the new record from art rock alternative rock band Everything Everything. This is their 6th studio album entitled Raw Data Feel. And we have it here on CD. I also got the vinyl in the mail not that long ago. Clear vinyl, really nice. So Everything Everything are a band from the United Kingdom, and this is their 6th full-length album. Tell me a little bit about Everything Everything. What do you know about them? What do you think of their discography up until this point?
I'm not a huge fan. They got a couple of good songs that we'll go over, but very popular in the UK and very unknown in the US. They have AI generated lyrics in their songs, which make the lyrics pretty interesting.
Yes, definitely. And this is their 6th studio album. I first got into the band around 2015, 2016 with their breakthrough 3rd studio record, Get to Heaven, that we both know very well. But today we're just going to do a tier list of the whole new album, all 14 tracks on Raw Data Feel.
Well, tell them a little bit how you got into everything first, Ben. How'd you discover them?
Well, basically, the story behind me and Everything was I was in a record store and I saw the album cover. And I had seen Fantano's review of this album before, and I thought the album cover was interesting. I knew it got a high score, and just mixed with the weird kind of track names, I thought, hey, let me buy this record. And that's exactly what I did. And blindly, I haven't heard a single song from it. And it was amazing. And it's one of my favorite albums of all time. And that's my story with them. They had 2 albums that came out in the interim between Get to Heaven and Raw Data Feel. They came out with A Fever Dream first, which I thought was excellent. And they came out with Reanimated, which I really haven't given the time of day to sit down to listen to, but I should be doing that soon here. So I will get back to you on that. But today we're talking about Raw Data Feel. And like he was saying, AI generated lyrics is part of the concept of this album, which is quite interesting. But in an interview, Jonathan Higgs, lead singer, says only about 7 to 10% of the lyrics are actually directly from the AI, but the rest are a conglomeration of different pieces of work that he's been looking at and things he's been reading. So the lyrics are very interesting on this album. So we're going to start from the first song and then finish with the last song. Pretty reasonable. I will give my ranking. He will give his ranking, and together we have to come up with what do we think is an appropriate tier for this song. And we have S, A, B, C, and D. D being the worst, and S being one of the best songs by the band, just a banger. And then from the middle, we will fill in. So let's start with the opening cut, Teletype. Zach, what are your thoughts on this opening cut?
I think it's a banger, it's very catchy, and it's a great song overall.
Yeah, I think it opens up the album really great. I love the little technologic things going on in the background. The production on this album is amazing, self-produced, really impressive as well. And I think this is a great song. Where are we thinking is a good tier ranking for this one?
I think I would put it at A right now.
I agree. I think this is an A tier song. It's not the best song on the album, but the album is very stacked. So this is towards the top middle, but it's tough because there's so many good songs on this album. The second song, I Want a Love Like This. Thoughts on this song?
It didn't speak to me. It was okay. That's all I can say.
Wow, just the disrespect is unbelievable. This is my favorite song on the record. It has a soaring chorus, incredible verses, some interesting lyrics. Why don't you listen to your mama? She's old. Interesting track, interesting lyric, rather.
It's factual, though.
I think it's an absolute banger. So this song to me is absolutely S tier. It's just a slapper. What do you think?
I'd say it's a high B.
Okay.
I couldn't see it going above an A tier.
All right, so we got to put it in A, even though I would put this in S. Third song, first single on this record, Bad Friday. Super catchy, a lot of things going on here. Thoughts on Bad Friday?
I think it's pretty good. I put it on the level a little higher than the last song, I Want a Love Like This. It's very catchy. It's got a nice tune to it.
This is one of the best songs on the album, in my opinion. Also, this is probably the top 3 for me. It's so catchy. The chorus and the production, everything's just A1, and the lyrics are super interesting. Soaring vocals, as always. I think this is an S tier song, personally.
I think this is an A.
Okay, so we could put this at S for now, because the other ones, one had S, one B, and then we both thought A for the first one. So if it's in the middle, we'll round up. So this is an S tier track, Bad Friday. Listen to it. All right, we got the next song, Pizza Boy, one of the characters that comes out a lot throughout this record, as well as Kevin. We'll get to Kevin a little bit later. But Pizza Boy, interesting track. Thoughts on it?
I think this is a absolute banger. I mean, it goes with I want a Coke, I want a Pepsi now. I am a pizza boy. I mean, that screams S tier to me.
I have no issues with that. This is actually my least favorite of the first 4 cuts, but this is an A tier for me. I still think it's an incredible song. And if he thinks it's S tier, then we'll have to come up with a joint opinion and say this is an S tier track. So after the first 4 songs, a lot of bangers here, 2 S's, 2 A's. We go into kind of a slower cut, but still very moving. The song Jennifer. Thoughts on this cut?
I think it's a very moving song, and the riff is nice, and the way he says Jennifer is kind of cool. So
Yeah, he starts with like Jennifer nearly walked in. So he kind of like scales up his voice. Super great song, catchy as well. Moving lyrics. Overall theme on this album is very bright sounding music and instrumentation and vocals, but really kind of depressing lyrics, very Radiohead-esque. And one of the fan theories behind the name of the band, Everything Everything, is from a Radiohead song, Everything in Its Right Place. So that would make sense. They draw a lot of inspiration from them. So this is an A tier.
that's an
song
A
for me.
tier track. Yes.
So we're entering the next song here. Metroland is Burning, not to be confused with Metro Boomin. Only for the memes though. This is a great song. This is one of my favorite songs on the album as well. This is in the top 3. My top 3 on this record are probably Bad Friday, I Want to Live Like This, and Metroland is Burning. Cut Up is close as well, but this is just an amazing song. I love the Depeche Mode kind of style vocals we get here, and this is an S tier song for me without a doubt. This is my dad's favorite cut from the record. Great track. What do you think?
It's an A. I give it an A.
Okay, so we get to round it up to an S. So look at how this album starts. Pretty remarkable. Starting with 3 S's and 3 A's. Let's see where it goes from here. Next is Leviathan. Very interesting sounding song. This is one of the slower songs in the album, a slow burn. I believe it is the longest song on this album. Very Radiohead inspired. They're wearing their influences a little too much on their sleeve here, but I still think it's a good song. It's not a stinker in the track list, but it's towards the bottom, but it's still a good song. So this is a B tier song. This kind of rounds out the track listing. No issue with having it in the track list here for me, but this is a B tier song for me. Thoughts?
That's a C. It's a C tier song. It's way too slow. I
Whoa.
don't like how it progresses. That it is definitely one of the worst tracks on the album.
Okay, well, you think C, I think B. We're gonna give it the B, but still one of the worst songs of the album being a C. Everything else up from there. Pretty impressive looking at this tier list already. You can already tell this is one of the better albums of the year, and we'll go into our final ratings at the end. Shark Week, next song, very interesting start to this song. I know some fans don't like this one. I think it's really catchy. I think it's a good song as well that rounds out the track list here. This is another strong B tier song for me. It's catchy, it's enjoyable, and I think the opening cuts are great from it. So this is a B tier song for me. Rounds out the track list nicely.
I think it's a weak B tier. Definitely is better than Leviathan, but it's nowhere near Teletape or Jennifer. It's a solid B.
Okay, we'll put it at B. That's a respectable ranking. Next is Cut Up! Exclamation points. Thought on this track. The Pizza Boy told me. Kevin told me.
The track is probably the second best track on the album, followed by Pizza Boy. This track is awesome. Kevin is mentioned in this track. The Pizza Boy Goliath is in this track. I mean,
True.
It's pretty cool, and you could definitely tell the AI lyrics in this song.
Oh yes, and on top of the AI lyrics, just the passionate vocal performance from the chorus. It's one of the, and there's an argument made, it's the strongest chorus in terms of soaring, overwhelming. Wow, this is awesome. So this is an S tier track to me.
Yeah,
Fair. So we go into Hex next, which is a song I don't think you like that much,
No,
but I think it's pretty good. It kind of feels Cut Up like in the way that it's very loud in your face, big chorus, and a lot of instrumentation kind of soaring over the vocals. This isn't my favorite song on the album, but this is an enjoyable song. I don't think I could give it an A, but I think this is a strong B for me, and I do like it better than Leviathan and Shark Week, I think. So this is a B song for me.
this song is borderline D.
Oh
I'd say.
gosh.
I would give it the benefit of the doubt and say it's a weak C, but this is nowhere near that kind of area that we have right now.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and give it a B, but the lowest B, if you will. Okay, next we have You're in Love with the Future, and I don't know why. Great song, My Computer. Again, with the AI inspired themes here, not so much the lyrics. I don't see that as much with this, but in terms of the concept, the computer, technology taking over, relationships with technology, how does that work? Emotion with technology, very interesting. This is a great song to me. I love this song on the back half of the track list. I think it's one of the better songs. This is a solid A cut for me. You're in love with the future, and I don't know why. Great chorus. This is an A tier song for me.
I'd say the song itself is okay, but when we talk about the meaning behind the song and what goes on, I think it's an A tier song at the end of the day.
Okay, great. So we're going up here, and then we interact with Kevin. Now we have seen Kevin once or twice before. We saw Kevin in Cut Up. I think we saw Kevin in Metroland is Burning, or maybe one of these other songs. So I think this is the third Kevin song, but he gets his actual song here. This is a great song too. I love the catchy chorus. It feels a little samey, but this is a good song too on the back half of the track list. And this is going to be a B for me, a strong B. I like this song. I think I like it. Out of the four songs we have in B, probably my favorite or second to Hex. It's a good song. I like this song. Strong B.
I think this song is an absolute disappointment.
Oh
in Kevin's
my
character.
goodness. Not like
I
this.
think this is the worst song on the album. This is a D tier, absolute D tier. They did Kevin dirty on this track.
Wow. The disrespect is real. So I guess it has to go in C, which is just it's sad to see because I'm looking here and Kevin's like one of the major characters here, and he finally gets his own cut, and this is where we go. So then we have the last two songs of the album, kind of ends it on an inconsequential sound, very softer sounding, but I think in particular, Born Under a Meteor is the better of the two. I think it's Leviathan-like in that it's a little bit longer and softer, but the chorus is beautiful, and it's a great song to have on. So this is a strong B tier song for me.
This is a B tier song, definitely.
Okay, Born Under a Meteor, we'll give it a B. And then here's the last song, Software Great Man. This song, I don't really, it doesn't add that much, but it doesn't take that much away as well. It's one of the shortest songs on the album, and there's some interesting lyrics on it. So I have no problem with it in general. If they cut it off the album, I wouldn't be mad also. But again, it's still a nice song to have. But to me, this is like a B or C tier song. This is one of my least favorites on the album. But it doesn't end it poorly. It just feels like a long interlude. But there's still good vocals on it. So I can give it a light B tier.
So what I think about this song is I honestly don't even remember this song exists because
Oh,
it
geez.
must ended off not very well. Born Under a Meteor is the last song I even remember when we listened to this track. So I think this is Kevin's card territory. This
And as I
is-
look at the track list here, apparently it is the longest song on the album, which is surprising because
Yes.
I said it was one of the shortest. I think the reason I said that is because there's only like 2 minutes of actual vocals, and the last 3.5 minutes are just like nothing. So I don't know. That's what drags it out, but it is like the shortest sounding, if that makes sense. So I'm fine giving this a
C
C.
tier.
So overall, I mean, you can see this is a pretty balanced album. We have 4 S's, 4 A's, 4 B's, and 2 C's. And of course, it's a little bit different for each of us, but I think we can both agree that half of the songs here are an A or S, which is
Yes.
pretty impressive when you have 14 songs that 7 are that good. I think this is one of the strongest Everything albums. I don't know if anything can touch Get to Heaven, but the fact that this is even a conversation, because I think this album is really good, says a lot. I don't think I would have any C tier songs, probably Software Great Man, but everything else would be B, and I would have more S's. Everything would be shifted up a little bit just because I like this album a little bit more than I think Zach does. But overall, this is an incredible album, super meaningful in terms of the concept, and memorable is the biggest way I can describe it. This is a big return back to form for them. And this is one of the best albums of the year. This has been a great year for music. I've heard a lot of albums this year, way more than in 2021. And this is either my favorite album of the year or second. It's battling with Spoon Lucifer on the sofa right now. But this could be my favorite album of the year. So keep up with the new music, see what you think, guys think about the other releases this year, because this could be the best of the year. This is going to be just a very, very strong and solid 9 out of 10 for me. You know, I'm not going to go 0.5, 9.5, but this is a solid 9, a great album, high replay factor. I think we've heard this album like 8 times. So we have plenty of reps with this album. Overall thoughts and closing remarks on this one, Zach?
I think this song is. I
Okay.
give it a 8 out of 10 because Pizza Boy really brings it up. Pizza Boy and Cut Up, those two are amazing tracks. Same thing with Teletype. I think the album you have ones that hit and you have ones that don't. But I'd say ones in the middle, there's not a whole lot that I'm like, they're okay. Most of them are they are amazing songs, or I just don't like them.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And if we look at the top here, all four of these are banger. Teletype's a banger. I Want to Love Like This, Jennifer, My Computer. I mean, basically what we're saying is you have 8 out of the 14 that are wins.
Yes.
And then 6 that are like and none are like embarrassingly bad. Oh, I want to listen to it. It's bad. Skips. It's like songs. I think they're a little bit better than but this is what I'm reading from Zach. So they're kind of like songs. But
Yes.
if Zach says 8 out of 14 are wins on an album, that's a pretty good album. So an 8 and a 9 out of 10, 8.5 from us. This is a really strong record and a strong recommend. And definitely stay tuned because we might be doing another everything tier list soon. Maybe we'll do Get to Heaven, and that'll just be all S's, of course. But okay,
Yep.
so we will see you guys next time.